The Dershow.
The defense attorney made a very good argument to the judge that he shouldn't allow the case to go to the jury, that there's insufficient evidence of the elements of the crime, and that the judge obviously knows that that Michael Cohen is a liar. And here's what the judge said: well, the jury is composed of 12 New Yorkers. New Yorkers are shrewd, and they can see through lies. And if he was really lying, they would see through it. No, they wouldn't, because the 12 jurors probably voted against Donald Trump and probably don't want to see Trump run for president. If not all of them, most of them, if you take the demographics seriously. Manhattan, I think 85% of the voters voted against Trump, and probably a very substantial portion of them would vote against him again and would not want him to be president, and would convict him if they thought it would prevent him from being president. So no, it's not an adequate protection to say the jury will reject the testimony. What if they don't reject the testimony? Will the judge then grant a motion for an acquittal? I don't think he will do that. But lie after lie after lie, and I just don't get how the prosecution could credibly put on a witness that they know is lying. He admitted a lot of his lies. He admitted the $60,000, but he told lies that he didn't admit. He told lies right to the jury, lies that anybody would be able to see through if they had an objective mind. And so, what will the jury believe? Will some of the jurors believe? Will others juries not believe? The prosecution is going to argue that you can convict without believing Michael Cohen because all of his testimony is corroborated. That is simply false. The key crucial phone call, an 82-second phone call to Donald Trump's bodyguard, the purpose of the call, as evidenced by emails and text, was to complain to Donald Trump's bodyguard that he, Michael Cohen, was being harassed by a 14-year-old boy, and could he get some Secret Service help on that? And he gave him the number and he gave him the background. That would take at least 60 or 70 seconds to make that call. And then he claims that the bodyguard then handed the phone over to Donald Trump, and there was enough time for Michael Cohen to tell Donald Trump that he had made the payoff to Stormy Daniels. I know Donald Trump well enough to know he doesn't just listen, he talks. He talks all the time. So the idea that 82-minute phone call about a 14-year-old boy harassing him also included the definitive, unequivocal statement that he told Trump that the payoff had been made. Even if he did that, which I don't believe he did, and I don't believe any rational person would believe he did, but even if he did, he didn't even testify that he told him that they then entered the payment not as reimbursement for the payment of the hush money to Stormy Daniels, or the NDA, non-disclosure agreement, but rather as legal expenses or retainer expenses. And that's all confused. We don't know, because we know that Michael Cohen thought he was cheated. He didn't get enough money, even if he stole the $60,000, and he didn't get a bonus. And so this very well may have been a bonus. We just don't know. And the idea that you can prove beyond a reasonable doubt that when it was entered as legal expenses or a retainer, it wasn't entered by Donald Trump, it was entered by some low-ranking secretary or administrator, that the intent was to defraud. Defraud who? Defraud the voters of New York, I guess is what they're saying, because the voters of New York would never vote for somebody. They didn't vote for him anyway, but would never vote for anybody who had sex with or paid money to have a non-disclosure agreement with a porn star. No, and then you have to prove, in order to get the case from being a misdemeanor that's barred by the statute of limitations, you have to prove that his intention in having somebody else enter it improperly, his intention was not to prevent his wife from learning about his sexual encounter. It wasn't to prevent him being fired from television, because the television contract has a morality clause. And if you sleep with a prostitute, that violates the morality clause, that it wasn't designed to protect his brand, Trump towers, Trump buildings all over the world. It was solely intended to help him win the election, even though he wouldn't have had to disclose the payment until after the election. It's such an absurd, stupid case, but who knows what the jury will find.